Well, thanks everybody for joining us here this morning. Today, the administration released its report responding to Council's 11-part motion that was moved following the March 15th presentation by Northlands on their Vision 2020 conceptual plan. As we all know, Northlands has a long history in Edmonton. They've been an important partner and city builder through their attraction and hosting of many events and festivals, as well as working cooperatively with us all the time to meet emergency needs in our city, such as the recent Fort McMurray wildfire situation. The landscape in Edmonton's entertainment industry is changing and has changed, and decisions made by City Council must be in the best interest of Edmontonians overall. And the work we present today and then next week to City Council tries to take into consideration the full scope of the city's responsibility to Edmontonians, including cost to taxpayers, risks, benefits, needs analysis, and community support. We acknowledge that Vision 2020 is an option for what could be done with the 160 acres of Northlands leased from the city today. And for the past several months, a cross-departmental team from the city administration has been focused on reviewing the Vision 2020 in order to provide the answers to those 11 questions in that motion. Vision 2020 looks at the future of Northlands and the lands they lease from the city. Our evaluation has been done in the context of a perspective taking into account the overall needs and priorities of our city. Throughout this process, we worked collaboratively with Northlands staff to ensure that Council has the best information they can get needed to have a well-informed and meaningful decision on August 31st. So I'll turn it over now to Mayor Iveson, and then we'd be happy to try and answer your questions. Thank you. Mr. Mayor?
Well, thanks, Linda, and that's probably a little better for you. Before I go any further, I want to say a heartfelt thank you to your team, the folks at the City of Edmonton, for all the due diligence that's gone into these significant reports that are before us. It's clearly been a busy summer for you and for the folks in City Administration, so thank you. This is a complex decision with many interconnected pieces, and Council will have a lot to consider when it meets next week. Wednesday's public hearing will give us the chance to discuss Northland's proposal in more detail and to hear from the public about what they imagine the future of Northlands to be. Before then, however, I wanted to share some of my high-level reactions to the key findings in the report. Northlands has proposed an ambitious plan, and there are elements that are worthy of further exploration. These are the kinds of discussions that will define the future of Northeast Edmonton and the health of the city's finances. And so Council's job must be to make decisions that are in the best interests of the city and not just a single organization. At the heart of this plan is repurposing the Coliseum into a multiplex arena. Now, from my conversations in the community, from hockey parents to hoteliers, there seems to be broad support to bring this transformation to life. We all recognize the important legacy of the Coliseum and the special place that it holds in our city's story. A multiplex may well be the best future for the Coliseum, one that honors our past, but gives tomorrow's athletes a place to grow and build a lifelong connection to sport and wellness. Now, I recognize that further analysis would be required prior to final decision by Council, including capital and operating implications, but there are potential partners too, and there's no reason not to think big about what kind of boost a reimagined Coliseum could provide for the future of amateur sports in our city. Turning now to the festival site, from our city staff analysis, it's clear that there isn't an overwhelming demand for a site like this, and some of our largest festival partners have said they are not interested in relocating at this time. So the question then really becomes, what is the best possible use for this remarkable piece of land in the heart of our city? One that is surrounded by fantastic public spaces, great transit connections, and close to major amenities. More work clearly needs to be done, likely through a new area redevelopment plan to set a more sustainable and inspiring future for this area. But opportunities to do this kind of work don't come along very often, and it's critical that we aren't rushed and that we make the right decision for our city. Throughout the process, I have been clear in my call for a unified approach to event and convention attraction in Edmonton. This report provides a wake-up call that the time for this coordination is now. I believe we've been underperforming, and I've believed this for some time, when it comes to attracting conferences and conventions to Edmonton. And the low utilization rates highlighted in this report for the Expo Center bear this assumption out and are no doubt contributing to the financial stress that Northlands is under. So I have been consistently pushing for action on bringing the Expo Center and the Shaw Conference Center closer together, because there are opportunities to increase efficiencies and unify our efforts to ensure our long-term economic prosperity when it comes to tourism and event attraction for the city of Edmonton. Now, who might manage these facilities is not a question for today, but it must be addressed at some point in the process, and I will be pushing toward a resolution on this at Council next Wednesday. Now, of course, the question that continues to loom over Council's decision is the debt owed to the city by Northlands. Now, I believe Edmontonians would not support forgiving a debt this large, nor do I think it's fair to expect residents to pick up the tab without a solid plan in place moving forward. So based on administration's analysis of Vision 2020, there are no easy answers for Northlands, and there is no silver bullet. There may be some interim solutions that can be explored until some of the larger questions around Northlands are answered, but I'm open to hearing arguments for this next week. But we must be realistic, and we must act in the best interests of the city's economy. In closing, I look forward to our debate and discussion next Wednesday and to hearing from the public.